Barbara Reiss reporting for Totally East Brunswick. And we're here today for a very special occasion. It's the 30th anniversary of the East Brunswick Human Relations Council. Congratulations, ladies.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, let me introduce our fine guests. We have with us today Elayne Risley, chairperson of the council. We have Nusrat Sohail, who's the vice chair. And we also have Susanna Chiu, who's in charge of events and programming. Thank you for joining us.
Well, Barbara, what about introducing yourself? Because Barbara Reiss is also a member of the Human Relations Council.
That's true. I do volunteer as well for this council. So there's a lot of exciting things going on.
Yes.
But for those that are not familiar with the council and its good work of its volunteers, maybe, Elayne, you could tell us a little background on how this council came to be.
Well, I understand that it began 30 years ago under then Mayor Ira Skowski. And some of the founding members were Dennis Lai and Rebecca Brenowitz, Alice Brown, and I'm not sure of some of the others as to whether they started 30 years ago or then came along, but it was always in the interest of getting all of the beautiful cultures that East Brunswick was home to, involved in celebration, understanding, and sharing of the diversity that it held. Because there is such a richness that is contained within our community. And to understand the likeness, not just the differences, was something that the Human Relations Council always explored.
So, Susanna, there's a mission statement for the council. Could you share that with us?
Sure. It's a mouthful. The mission statement, the purpose of the East Brunswick Human Relations Council shall be to promote communication, respect, and understanding among the diverse members of the broader East Brunswick community and between the various different populations who belong or might join our community toward the goal of creating and maintaining a community in which diversity is not just tolerated and accepted, but celebrated and respected. The Council's activities include civic programs to celebrate diversity, educational and social programs to encourage communication and understanding, and programs to address the causes, impact, and prevention of bias-related incidents. The Council is empowered to make recommendations to the Township Council for the development of policies and procedures in general, and for programs of formal and informal education that are designed to aid in eliminating all types of discrimination, including discrimination based on race, creed, color, national origin, ethnicity, ancestry, age, disability, marital or family status, gender, gender identity or expression, or sexual orientation.
So really, this council has an important mission. What is it? Why is it, in your opinion, why is this an important council?
Well, I know one of the reasons I joined, and I was approached by Dennis Lai, I guess this is 2 years ago, to join the council because he was moving on and looking to do other things in his life, and he invited me to come see if I was interested in joining. And one of the things I like to do is I always like to meet different people, and it's an opportunity for me to meet people that I may not normally work with or have an opportunity to get to know better. And the council is such a lovely diversity, represents such a lovely diversity of the community, and we get to know, the wonderful people like the people that you see sitting here. And that really helps us to promote a better understanding among all people, whether it's just every day in the community, in the workplace, helps us do a better job raising our kids.
And in fact, you sponsor or co-sponsor a lot of wonderful events here in town that people may be familiar more with your events than the actual council. So, for example, coming up in September is an exciting event. They have the Multicultural Fair.
Yes.
Maybe, Nusrat, you want to tell us a little bit about what we can expect?
Yeah. Multicultural Fair is going to be on September 23rd. We organize it with co-sponsorship with the library. And the whole council is part of the organizing committee, and we are inviting multiple vendors and we are planning a talent show and multiple other exciting things. There would be free food, games, and of course, entertainment. So we would like everyone from the township to come and attend it.
Now, last year it was a wonderful event. It was a different name, but the same wonderful event. And there was lots of delicious food, different acts, and so forth. What's important about having such a type of event in town? Why do you think Nusrat, it draws a lot of people and people are excited to attend?
Some of the comments last year were really empowering, and one of the comment that I really remembered was everyone felt that they are celebrating their festivals together. And that was a very, very strong comment that not just a few people came up from different communities and shared this with us. And I feel celebrating your own festivals in a community, in a safe environment, is something that I think we deserve as a community, because we are a wonderful, diverse community.
And that's wonderful about the library, too, that it's home to a lot of these events where many cultures get together, like you said, who might not otherwise have occasion to celebrate with one another.
Right, because there was representation from so many different cultures in terms of the entertainment, in terms of what the various exhibits at the tables or booths represented, the information that was disseminated, the costuming. We encourage people to wear their native dress when they attend the event. And that kind of sharing, when you hear someone on stage singing a song in their native tongue, or last year there was someone who was chanting something in their native tongue, and you realize that when you walk into that kind of strange language, but maybe even a familiar tune or tone, that, ooh, it sounds so familiar, though the language is so different, and you feel, gee, is that a prayer? Is that a song? What are they saying? And then you seek more information about it. But you see joy on a face, and you know it's not somber. It is joyful. And then you find out more. And then you see that the foods that they eat might resemble something that you might have tasted in a restaurant, where it used to be Chinese, and now it's American.
Half the Chinese food we eat is actually Americanized.
Well, you would know the real recipe, but it's just awe-inspiring to see everyone coming together. And this year, as last year, we will have a month-long exhibit in the library. Throughout the month of September, there will be an exhibit on the walls called World Treasures, and this collection will come from members of the community who have either brought something from their native country, or our world travelers who have picked up something that they treasure and have loaned it for the exhibit. We will not be doing the cases this year, though.
And something to add to what Elayne just said is, you know, not everyone gets the chance to travel all the time, or to travel as much or as often as they'd like to. And one thing I like to do is I drag my husband out, and we like to try different kinds of food, you know, Mediterranean food, Indian food. And I love, in Edison there is like a very large Indian community, and I love to go there because it's like, you know, walking down the street and you get to try all these different things that you just, you know, well, okay, you drive 20 minutes or 5 minutes or wherever you're going, and you get to try something that's different, and you feel like, you know, I'm on a trip somewhere.
And here you're presenting that at the library.
That's right,
Yes,
and bringing
yes.
it to
Local
the
to East
community.
Brunswick.
Right,
So
right.
it's a wonderful opportunity for people like you say who don't have the
Yes.
opportunity to travel,
Right.
to see all these different cultures right here in town.
Right.
So now you also co-sponsor lots of other events that other folks may not realize that you're volunteering and sponsoring, co-sponsoring. Veterans Day. Could you tell us a little bit about Veterans Day?
Okay, well, Veterans Day is indeed celebrated on Veterans Day. This year it falls on a Sunday, and we do that in conjunction with the East Brunswick Recreation Department. They have their traditional Veterans Day celebration outside at the Veterans Memorial, and that is followed by something indoors that we decided that we would contribute, and this will be our third or fourth year doing that. And we have an indoor sing-along. There are door prizes at this event, and we have trivia contests, and we impart a bit of history that is something that brings the audience that is multi-generational kind of in concert with the unfortunate aspect of war that continues. And we remember our veterans in very unique ways. I also chair the Lap Tapestry Project Plus, where we are knitting and crocheting for Make a Difference Day, and we reserve some of the lap tapestries and other items that we specifically make in patriotic colors, and these are part of the door prizes for our veterans. And it's always been something that our community looks forward to. We contribute to the refreshments and the excitement of the day, and it's to warm everybody up after, possibly inclement weather. I mean, just because it's Veterans Day doesn't mean we get sun and warmth.
So it becomes a community-wide.
Right, right. And also multicultures have served in our armed forces.
And then we also have Pan-Asian Lunar New Year celebrations at the library. Could you tell us a little bit more about this, Susanna?
Sure. That's an event that's co-chaired by numerous organizations, which makes it even more exciting. We pull together the library, the Human Relations Council. We've involved the students at the East Brunswick High School through the Asian Club, and then there are 2 Chinese schools in East Brunswick, a morning school and an afternoon school, and both of those Chinese schools are also involved. And we work together to pull together usually an hour-long program of different kinds of performances, dance and martial artists, and singing and dancing, and then we'll serve some sampling of New Year type of foods, and then I work with the students to have them make a presentation about New Year's customs, and kind of talking through there's different New Year's customs in different Asian communities, and that's something I learned from too. I'm Chinese, I'm familiar with that, but I didn't necessarily know what some of the other Asian communities did in celebrating New Year.
And last year we had a full orchestra.
Yes, yes.
I mean, there were some wonderful performances. I especially enjoyed the boys who did the yo-yo demonstration.
Right.
I mean, there's just a lot of different things that you get to see that you otherwise wouldn't have the opportunity to enjoy. And in fact, Nusrat, isn't it true that people could look on the Facebook page to see some of the pictures?
We post pictures of different events there. We also post announcements of any upcoming event. So if anyone would like to look up that we are organizing any event, they can do that by liking our page on EBHRC.
Well, that's great, because I looked on it. I didn't even realize how many wonderful pictures were there from last year's events and coming up. It gives you an idea of what's coming forward.
Well, we also have a rerun, but the only place you can see it is here in East Brunswick, of White Elephant. Now, this movie is brought to us because Nusrat knows the director.
Well, yes, it is an Indian movie and a family movie, which was made by a cousin of mine in India, and he asked me if I would like to do a screening of it in my community, and I said, why not? So we approached the library and East Brunswick Human Relations Council, and I mean, of course, it was a wonderful idea, and it was well received by the community. And this year again, we are going to show the movie on November 1st. This movie is special because it is not released anywhere. It just went to different film festivals. And because I knew the cousin, so he sent me a copy of it, and that's why we are able to show it in East Brunswick Library.
Oh, that's fabulous.
Yeah.
So those who have missed it previously have an additional opportunity to see it.
It has subtitles, although it is made in Hindi language.
Right. So everyone can enjoy it.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely, definitely, because the acting is so superb that even though it is done in a foreign language, you kind of get the gist of some of the scenes just by the beautiful acting. And
So that's
I thoroughly
another
enjoyed.
opportunity that
Yes.
other people might not have had to see a language in a foreign language film right here at the library.
Exactly.
So
yes.
that's wonderful that you're providing these opportunities. Now, a little bit closer to home is Flat Stanley.
Oh, yes.
For those who have young kids or have had young kids, they know the story of Flat Stanley.
I would hope so, and more information can be found eastbrunswick.org, our township website, and then you can just follow the link to the Human Relations Council, and it comes up on there. We ask that you download the picture of Flat Stanley, or if you feel creative, to create a Flat Stanley of your own. And the story of Flat Stanley is really unique. It was created by Dale Hubert, I believe is his last name. He was telling a bedtime story to his kids, who were afraid that this large painting above their bed was going to fall and crush them. And Dad said, well, what if it did? And obviously the kids thought that they would be flat. And so what do you do if you are flat? Well, one of the things is you'd have the ease of being transported in an envelope. And so literally Flat Stanley can be transported in an envelope, and he can get to go all different places. And I remember years ago doing the project with my nephews, but we at the Human Relations Council thought this would be a wonderful way of bringing our community's culture into play, because many people go back to visit their native country. You can take Flat Stanley into your kitchen and teach them a new recipe, and you can send it out to us. We will post it on, we have a specific website, and we can share with our community. It's just getting up and running, but there are a few posts there, and we would hope that our community would take an interest in it. You don't have to be a youngster, you can be an oldster. And you can do it with your grandchildren. You can do it just because you'd like to tell us something about your culture. I'd love to see how people met, how people celebrated their anniversary as we're celebrating our 30th. And it would really be interesting to see where Flat Stanley goes and how he celebrates.
And it's a nice way to involve the kids in learning about different cultures.
Yes,
through a story that they
too.
may be familiar with from school.
Yeah, that too.
So that's great that you're thinking of all these different ways to be inclusive.
Trying to.
Yeah, and so I guess looking at all these events, and you're involved as well in Community Day and other township events. What do you hope is the message that you get across as a council to the township? And I'll approach each of you for an answer on that. What do you hope that people learn from the council, or that the message that you are able to send to the township?
Well, one of the things is that know your neighbor. Know your neighbor. I know I live in a condo community, and that it's more than a nod of a head. We do stop, we do say hello to one another, and we know, some of us know certain people very, very well. It's like the League of Nations, and that's what's so beautiful. We know more about our likenesses than our differences, though there are differences, but if you communicate, that's the biggest answer, and that we're there for the community.
I cannot explain better than what Elayne did, but I would definitely believe in the same ideology to celebrate the differences. When we look around within our community, every third door you find a different nationality or different ethnicity or different religious group. To enjoy it, what they are doing and what you are doing, because there are many similarities in all celebrations, in all beliefs, in all ideas that people have. To enjoy those similarities is the way to go, and I think we are very fortunate that we have such a diverse, beautiful community here, that we are able to do that.
Susanna?
Well, the disadvantage of going last is it's been so well said already. And, you know, just again to emphasize and add to what they've already said is, I find personally that the more we explore our differences, I learn how many similarities. I learn more about similarities than there are differences. And, you know, when you talk about, you know, different cultures and, you know, you look at how they celebrate different things and their beliefs, you know, it is amazing that, you know, we as we learn more about each other and hopefully, you know, the goal is ultimately, you know, for us to pass on to our children as communities become more and more diverse, the workplace becomes more and more diverse, that, you know, we do learn to respect and enjoy, you know, the similarities and the differences.
And I guess I would answer this question as well, because I also am on the council, and I would say that I've learned a lot from the members of the council, because we represent a lot of different ethnicities and backgrounds. We have members who are African American, we have members who are from the Asian community, from the Indian community, all kinds of different backgrounds, and it gives me an opportunity to learn about new holidays, new celebrations that I may not have known all the details. You hear about it maybe in passing, but not really get a feel for that. So it's been a learning experience for me as well, and I think that's what makes East Brunswick special. Because we have so many different ethnicities here in East Brunswick, many people of different nationalities, but we all want to learn from one another, and we're open to one another. And I guess a part of the council is a hope to make that possible. So now I know you've been working on holidays and getting across some of the holidays.
Right, because we have yet another program,
project,
which is Cultural Perspectives, which airs on EBTV3, which gives a short explanation of the various holidays that are celebrated in every ethnicity. And we try to vary them from year to year. And so that you don't get a picture of everything being rosy and beautiful, we do indeed offer seminars and whatever on subjects that are very, very touchy, such as bullying and discriminatory activities that might take place within our community, and answering the needs of the community as those needs come up. And it's important. It's important that we discuss it as a community and we find solutions as a community.
Well, those definitely are important issues, and that at least people know there is a place you can turn to find some answers to those things. And as for the cultural perspectives, I think also that it's helpful for people to see that on television and to see, and it's going to be relating to the time of year, so it'll be up to date and it'll be fresh for people to know what's happening at that time. I think sometimes we as in school, we don't even realize all the holidays that are going on. And people come into school tired. Oh, what happened? What did you do yesterday? And they're celebrating a major holiday. And it's where we, of course, as a school district, have a listing of all the holidays they can check in it. But as a kid and parents, we sometimes don't always know about that.
Or a neighbor might not know because they don't have kids in school.
That's right. So
but what are all the kids running around today? They're home.
So the council will provide that, so we should keep an eye out for that as well. And I think that the 30th anniversary is a big milestone to mark. And what do you see for the future of the council? Susanna, where would you like to see the council in another 30 years, or at least in the near future? I know that's going way ahead, but in the future, what are some of the hopes that you have for the council?
Well, maybe in 30 years we don't need a council, and that, that's just part of everyday life, that, there's no need for, one of the things we cover at our monthly meetings is we get a bias report from the police. In 30 years, I hope we don't need that. But, if we need one in 30 years, then it's continuation of a celebration. The world has become smaller and smaller. So this celebration, who knows where it'll be in 30 years, where, people are just very accustomed to blending and understanding, not so much blending, but really respecting and being familiar with all the different differences and similarities of cultures.
Nusrat, would you like to add to that?
Yeah, I was actually thinking on the same lines, that it would be really exciting that you would, within your own culture, you have incorporated, a number of other cultures and celebrate all year long with everyone would be something that might start happening in next maybe a decade. I wouldn't even say 30 years.
And Elayne?
Yeah, that we would become more inclusive within our own neighborhoods. That our guest list would grow to include each other, not so isolated.
It's a good goal, and we're on our way. And thank you so much, ladies, for coming to speak with us today. It was a pleasure. And we wish you congratulations on this special occasion, the 30th anniversary, and that it's a wonderful year of celebration for you and many more to come.
Thank you.
Do join us on Multicultural Fair, because we are celebrating our birthday.
September 23rd.
Yes.
And it's 1 o'clock, correct?
Yes,
right.
1 to 5. And there was one other thing. If anyone out there is interested in becoming a member of the Human Relations Council, please let us know of your interest by sending a resume to Mayor David Stahl, the Administration Building.
It's a volunteer position?
Volunteer position. You undergo a review by the Human Relations Council, but is a mayoral appointed committee.
Well, thank you so much, and it's been a pleasure. And I'm Barbara Reiss reporting for Totally East Brunswick. We hope you've enjoyed this episode, and we look forward to seeing you soon.